In the mid-1970s, the X-Men were not Marvel's flagship team. They were a struggling series, recently revived after years of reprints, searching for an identity. What followed would not only define the modern X-Men, it would introduce one of the most powerful and tragic figures in comic book history. This is not just a story about power. It's a story about sacrifice, temptation, and what happens when a human soul touches the infinite. This is the Phoenix Saga. The X-Men are returning to Earth aboard a space shuttle when disaster strikes. Sensors scream warnings across the control panels. A solar flare is erupting nearby. Its radiation washes over the ship, overwhelming its systems. The computer begins to fail. Autopilot shuts down. Navigation becomes impossible. Dr. Peter Corbeau explains the situation with terrifying clarity. The shuttle can still reach Earth, but only if it is piloted manually through re-entry. To survive the solar radiation, the crew must retreat into the radiation-shielded chamber. The controls, however, are outside that protection. Whoever stays behind will be exposed directly to the solar flare. We need someone who can pilot the shuttle and survive the radiation. There's no such animal.
Wrong, Dr. Corbeau. I can do both.
Are you crazy? Since when are you a qualified astronaut?
Since now. I've absorbed all that Dr. Corbeau knows. My telekinetic powers can shield me from the radiation.
For how long? Even your powers can't...
May the gods protect you, Jean Grey.
Thank you, Aurora.
Reluctantly, the others seal themselves inside the chamber. Jean remains alone in the cockpit. The solar radiation hits. Pain tears through her body. Her thoughts begin to scatter. But Jean does not release the controls. She guides the shuttle through Earth's atmosphere, fire crawling across the hull, alarms blaring, systems collapsing one by one. Her strength fades. Her heart falters. Her mind slips toward darkness. And as Jean Grey reaches the very edge of death, something ancient, powerful, and burning bright across the cosmos answers her call. The shuttle skims across the runway at Kennedy Airport, metal screaming against concrete. The shuttle does not stop. It plows through the barriers at the end of the strip and hurtles into the ocean beyond. The craft crashes into Jamaica Bay and disappears beneath the surface. Moments later, the X-Men burst free, gasping for air as they surface. Jean Grey is not with them. Cyclops spins, panic in his voice. He tries to dive back down. And then, the water explodes. A column of fire erupts from the bay as Jean Grey rises from the depths, lifted by impossible force. Flames surround her.
I am fire and life incarnate, now and forever. I am Phoenix!
Without warning, her body goes limp. Phoenix falls. She plunges back into Jamaica Bay, the water swallowing the fire. The flames are gone. The wreckage smolders in the water as rescue crews arrive, racing toward the crash site. The X-Men move quickly. They carry Jean Grey away from the shattered shuttle, keeping her hidden from view. Before anyone can ask questions, Jean is rushed to a hospital. They can't identify what happened to her, only that she should be dead. And yet, she isn't. Finally, the doctor delivers the verdict. Jean Grey will recover. She will be fine. Relief spreads through the room. Everyone is elated. Everyone except Cyclops. Scott watches Jean sleep, uneasy. Something about this feels unfinished. Professor Xavier orders the X-Men, except Cyclops, to go on vacation, to rest, to recover. The others protest. They don't want to leave her. But Xavier insists. This is not a request. It is an order. That's when Sean Cassidy speaks up. He has recently inherited a family estate, Cassidy Keep, a castle in rural Scotland. Sean invites the team to join him there on vacation. Reluctantly, the X-Men agree. The team arrives in Scotland. Ancient stone walls rise from the mist. Cassidy Keep stands quiet and imposing, isolated from the modern world. For the first time in days, things feel almost normal. They settle in, unpack, prepare for dinner, and then from the shadows emerge Black Tom Cassidy and the Juggernaut.
Why, dear cousin Sean, nice of you two, shall we say, drop in.
Juggernaut attacks without warning. The X-Men are caught off guard, relaxed, unprepared, and far from home. Vacation is over. The battle begins. Juggernaut plows Colossus effortlessly, sending him crashing into the stone walls. Wolverine strikes next, claws out, ferocious. Juggernaut backhands him aside like an inconvenience.
Who will stop the Juggernaut? Juggernaut can never be stopped! Ha 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 ha!
Two of the X-Men's strongest are down almost immediately, and the fight has barely begun. Across the hall, Banshee faces Black Tom Cassidy. Family against family. They fight hand to hand, fists, grapples, raw emotion. Sean pleads with Tom to stop. Black Tom answers with violence. Storm is overwhelmed by her claustrophobia. The walls feel closer, her mind drifts. And suddenly, she is no longer in Scotland. She is a child again, in Cairo. She remembers rubble, darkness, her parents buried beneath stone. She remembers hunger, loneliness, years as an orphan on the streets. Storm freezes, paralyzed by the memory she buried long ago. Juggernaut notices. He grabs Storm by the hair and lifts her off the ground. Helpless, terrified. Before he can finish it, Nightcrawler attacks. Kurt teleports again and again, striking, vanishing, confusing Juggernaut. For a moment it works. Storm falls free. But Nightcrawler can't be everywhere at once. Black Tom intervenes. A blast strikes Kurt mid-teleport. Nightcrawler collapses. Black Tom drops Sean with a brutal blow. Two more X-Men fall. Miles away, Professor Xavier senses it. He feels Storm's fear. Xavier reaches out to Cyclops. He orders Scott to go to Scotland. Scott refuses. They argue. Sharp, emotional, unresolved. Scott won't abandon Jean. Xavier pushes harder.
How dare you, ungrateful!
Then Xavier stops. He turns toward the mirror in the hospital room. A face looks back at him. Not his own. Something else has just begun. Back at Cassidy Keep, Storm forces herself to stand. She reaches for the storm. The air barely stirs. Juggernaut hits her once. She goes down. The X-Men have been defeated. The battle is over. During the battle at Cassidy Keep, Nightcrawler is captured, not by villains, but by leprechauns, who secretly carry his unconscious body through hidden passages. When Kurt awakens, Eamon O'Donnell explains the truth. The Little People have lived under the protection of the Cassidy family for generations. But Juggernaut and Black Tom Cassidy have recently seized the castle, acting on orders from Eric the Red, who lured the X-Men into a trap meant to end with Professor Xavier's death. The leprechauns reveal something extraordinary. When Nightcrawler stands in shadow, he becomes nearly invisible. Realizing this could save his team, Kurt moves to act. Below, the X-Men are imprisoned in a lab, their powers neutralized. Black Tom prepares to torture Storm when Nightcrawler suddenly appears, disguised as Professor X.
I understand you wish to see me, Juggernaut. There's no need to hurt my students.
Juggernaut charges in fury.
I'm gonna kill you, stepbrother!
Ah, Kane, you're getting slow in your old age.
Shut up!
Juggernaut's rampage shatters the castle wall. Summoning her will, Storm breaks free, Calling up a tornado that blasts herself, Wolverine, and Colossus into the open air. Banshee, gagged and helpless, is taken to the tower as bait. As the X-Men fight their way upward, Nightcrawler slips in unseen and frees Banshee. He fights with Black Tom and kicks him into the sea below. Juggernaut dives after his cousin, vowing revenge. Elsewhere, Eric the Red reports his failure, but promises that next time, the X-Men will face their greatest enemy yet, Magneto. Cyclops sends the order. The X-Men are to regroup at Muir Island, off the coast of Scotland. The island belongs to Moira McTaggart, Xavier's housekeeper. That alone raises questions. They never make it. A surge of magnetic energy tears the boat apart mid-sea. The X-Men are thrown into the water. They swim for shore. The island is sealed. A magnetic force field locks them in place. Then the ground lifts. The island itself rises into the sky. They are dragged toward a massive hidden facility, Moira's research center. They barely smash through the walls before being crushed. The doors explode open. Magneto stands before them, free, restored, waiting.
Look upon me, mutants. I am Magneto. You are going to die here today.
Elsewhere, Cyclops and Moira find Jamie Madrox barely conscious. He explains.
I got ambushed by Havoc, Polaris, and Eric the Red. They went straight for the cell Magneto is in, ever since he was turned into a baby. Eric the Red used some sort of ray and turned Magneto back into a grown man again. Magneto wants revenge against the X-Men, so he formed an alliance with Eric the Red.
Back with the other X-Men, Wolverine strikes first. Magneto doesn't move. He seizes control of Logan's metal skeleton and hurls him aside like scrap. Colossus charges next. His steel body betrays him. Magneto turns that strength against him as well. Storm unleashes lightning. The bolts strike Magneto's magnetic field and snap back at her. She goes down. Colossus tries again, tearing loose debris and throwing it with all his strength. Magneto answers effortlessly. He launches Colossus through the wall, out of the facility and into the sea below. Elsewhere in the lab, Nightcrawler lies buried under metal rubble, pinned and helpless. Banshee attacks from the air. Magneto strips the wreckage apart, surrounding Sean in a cocoon of ferrous particles. Banshee is silenced. Then Cyclops arrives. A full optic blast slams into Magneto, staggering him. Just for a moment. And in that moment, Scott understands. This isn't the real battle. Eric the Red is targeting Xavier. Cyclops gives the order. Fall back. The X-Men retreat to the Blackbird and lift off for New York. The fight is over. And they've lost more than the battle. Inside Xavier's school, Eric the Red stands calmly among the ruins. The X-Men don't hesitate. They attack with everything they have. They never see it coming. A wall explodes inward. Firelord steps through. Former Herald of Galactus, bearer of the power cosmic. The fight is over before it begins. Firelord cuts through the X-Men effortlessly. Within moments, the team lies unconscious at Eric's feet.
Consider yourselves lucky to still be alive.
Eric the Red smiles. Firelord has been played. Earlier, Havoc and Polaris staged an attack, convincing Firelord the X-Men were villains. Eric claims to be a peaceful alien explorer. He tells Firelord the X-Men are plotting to conquer Earth, and that their leader, Charles Xavier, must be destroyed. Firelord accepts the mission.
Ship's log. Imperial date 2131.6. We have followed Princess Lilandra Neramani across the face of the known and unknown universe. Status report, Science Officer.
Class M World Captain. Sentient hominid life.
In deep space, a Shi'ar Imperial cruiser, commanded by Captain Kirk, intercepts a fleeing ship. Aboard it is Lilandra, deposed Empress, now a rebel.
Mr. Salah, fire photon torpedoes.
Before the cruiser can fire, Lilandra reaches out with her mind. She finds Charles Xavier and vanishes. Lilandra materializes on Earth, inside Jean Grey's apartment. Jean is there, so are her parents, and Misty Knight.
Jean! It looks like that Star Trek transporter effect!
Xavier steadies Lilandra's panic and floods her mind with English.
Ex Avia have sought you. I so long desperate. Needs gods.
Be calm, Lilandra. Language takes time.
The wall erupts. Firelord storms in. Jean reacts instantly. Her clothes reshape into flame.
You've made the biggest mistake of your life because I am Phoenix.
Phoenix rises. She meets Firelord head-on and holds her ground. The room trembles. The witnesses stare in disbelief. Even Firelord is shocked. Eric the Red appears. He moves for Lilandra. The X-Men arrive, still battered but fighting. Chaos erupts. Phoenix unleashes her power. She hurls Firelord away, flinging him across the sky, all the way to the New Jersey Meadowlands. But Eric escapes. Lilandra is taken. The portal snaps shut. The X-Men are stranded. Until Phoenix acts. She forces the gate open again, holding it long enough for the X-Men to leap through. Phoenix jumps last. The portal collapses.
Good luck, my X-Men.
The X-Men emerge from the warp gate and into another galaxy. At the center of the Shi'ar Empire, this barren world guards a legend. The M'Kraan crystal, a jewel of infinite power. It is said that when the stars align, as they have now, the crystal can be entered, and reality itself rewritten. Emperor D'Ken arrives with his Imperial Guard, 20 of the most powerful warriors in the Empire. Cyclops steps forward. He demands Lilandra's release. D'Ken laughs and orders the X-Men killed. The battlefield explodes. X-Men versus Imperial Guard. Outnumbered, outmatched, still standing.
Scatter them, Sean Cassidy. Keep them off balance.
Another fine mess you've gotten us into, Summers.
Well done, Bolt. You singed his whiskers and taught him a lesson.
Lady, if anyone's learning a lesson, it's you and your flame-faced buddy. Hey, Furface. Wolverine needs a target, and you've been elected.
D'Ken unleashes the Soul Drinker, a demonic beast that feeds on sacrifice. Lilandra is offered to it. At the last instant, Nightcrawler teleports. Lilandra vanishes from the altar. The Soul Drinker takes another. An Imperial Guard member dies screaming.
All right, Princess, talk. You asked us to come here. Why?
My brother discovered an ancient power, the M'Kraan crystal, and decided it would make him a god. He branded me a traitor. The Empire split. Civil war followed, and I was taken to be executed. I escaped, but my cause was lost. While fleeing through the stars, I felt a mind touch mine. Charles Xavier. That psychic bond saved me and doomed you. D'Ken sent his agent, Devan Shikari, Eric the Red, with one order: kill Xavier and destroy the X-Men.
The X-Men are outnumbered and being overwhelmed. They're losing ground. Then, the sky tears open. The Starjammers arrive, cosmic pirates, outlaws. They open fire on the Guard. The battle shifts. Hope returns. Phoenix reaches out. She mind probes their leader, Corsair, and what she sees shocks her.
Mom! Dad! Hang on, Alex!
The crystal pulses. Once, reality flickers for a fraction of a second. The universe ceases to exist. The universe is about to end. At the heart of the Shi'ar Empire, Emperor Deken prepares to enter the M-Cron crystal, a power source capable of rewriting reality itself. The X-Men and the Starjammers finally understand the truth. The stars above this world aren't stars at all. They're distant galaxies. When they align, the crystal can be penetrated. And that moment is now. On Earth, Peter Corbeau delivers the unthinkable. He briefs the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, even the President. A force in another galaxy is destabilizing the universe. The Wasp voices the fear they all share.
The universe is going to die.
For once, Earth's heroes can do nothing. Back on the M-Cron world, the X-Men approach the crystal and are stopped by its guardian, Joff. Wolverine mocks him.
Pipsqueak.
One punch later, Logan is launched into orbit, saved only by a last-second teleport from the Starjammers. Jaff tears through the teams. Brute force fails. So they adapt. Storm blinds the Guardian in a choking fog. Banshee dives in close and unleashes the full force of his sonic scream. Jaff is destroyed. Banshee collapses, his voice nearly gone. There's no victory, only escalation. A second Guardian rises, Mode, a giant who claims his power is 1,000 times greater. Before the fight can turn, Raza attacks Deken and accidentally hurls him into the crystal. Reality folds inward. Everyone is pulled inside. They emerge in a silent, impossible city. At its center, a sphere of pure light. The Phoenix feels it calling. When she touches it, their minds shatter. Each is trapped in their deepest fear. Cyclops loses control. Phoenix is forced to strike him down, to save him.
The sphere and I are bound. The answer must be inside.
She understands now. The sphere is holding back the birth of a neutron galaxy. If it collapses, it will form a black hole large enough to consume all reality. Every universe, every timeline. Phoenix tries to repair it. Even her power isn't enough. She needs life force. Only Storm and Corsair remain untouched. They give what they can. Phoenix reveals the truth. She knows Corsair is Christopher Summers, Scott's father. Storm hears everything.
Look after Scott Corsair. He's the man I love, and your firstborn son.
With their strength added to hers, the Phoenix Force ignites. The barrier seals, reality stabilizes. The universe survives. In an instant, the X-Men are home. Earth, Jean's parents, Professor Xavier, Misty Knight. Firelord returns, but no longer an enemy. Xavier explains the deception. Firelord departs in peace. Lilandra is now Empress of the Shi'ar, but stranded on Earth for now. By choice, with Charles Xavier. The universe is saved. The Phoenix stands triumphant. And somewhere within her, something has changed. If you enjoyed this journey through the Phoenix Saga, subscribe for more deep dive stories from the world of comics.